the three gunas. These are three qualities or characteristics that comprise all of existence and drive all of existence. The first one is stagnancy, heaviness, density. The second one is dynamic, fiery energy. And the third one is balance. And everything that we can perceive is made up of some combination of these three qualities. Even something like a rock or cement. You might think, okay, well, this really is something very dense. It seems to be almost exclusively density and heaviness and stagnancy, but actually it still contains some element of dynamic energy because it can be broken, right? It can be smashed. It's not completely dense. It's not completely impenetrable. So the yogis tend to really like all this talk about quantum physics these days, because in quantum physics, and I don't know much about quantum physics, but from what I understand, they talk a lot about everything just being varying densities of energy, which is like, the yogis are like, yeah, we've been saying this for thousands of years. So this first guna, the stagnancy, the heaviness, this is known as tamas. Tamas. If something has that quality, we say that it is tamasic. And then the second, the dynamic energy, this is rajas. Rajas, the more sort of fiery, dynamic energy. And it's not that one is better than the other. We actually need both of these energies. For example, even if you are, let's say, doing a meditation practice. So you're in meditation, you need both of these qualities. We need a certain amount of tamas so that we can sit and remain seated and remain still without fidgeting and flying off and this kind of thing. But we also need enough rajas, we need enough dynamic energy to stay awake. Too much tamas and I'll start to fall asleep. Too much tamas and I won't be able to concentrate, I won't be able to sit still. And so this brings us to the third quality, which is sattva. And sattva is about balance. Sattva is the balance, the harmonious, the pure, the balanced state. And you can apply these three characteristics to everything and anything. So let's say we can talk about food through these characteristics. Tamasic food would be food that is heavy and greasy, that kind, maybe heavy carbs, this kind of stuff. Rajasic food that is maybe digested very quickly, maybe very spicy food, or food that gives you a lot of energy, makes you run around the place, high sugar, this kind of thing. And then sattvic foods that are easily digested, but give you just the right amount of energy. A balanced, healthy diet would be considered sattvic food. We can also see emotions through this prism of the gunas. And so you can take one emotion, let's say anger, and you can see that actually anger can have these different qualities, these different characteristics. So for example, a rajasic form of anger, which is kind of the obvious one, would be sort of rage and violence, aggression, and this kind of thing. And a tamasic form of anger might be anger that is turned within. So perhaps where you're withholding or sulking or depression. Depression is anger turned within. And then you've even got a sattvic form of anger, which would be activism, which is where you have this anger, but you're channeling it for good. You're channeling it to be proactive and actually bring about some positive change. So just a few ideas on the three gunas. Thank you.